It's Renee. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to 5 Minutes of Good in April. We are almost done. This is our last week. I'm getting to the end, and I've got to tell you guys, this has not been easy. This has been like a little challenge for myself mostly. For anyone who's watched, if you've gotten anything out of it, that's just an extra blessing. It's kind of been a little bit of a spiritual discipline for me, and so yeah, if you've watched it all, that's just extra. So thank you so much for those that have tuned in. This is getting towards the end. And today I want to look at another piece from Ecclesiastes. And I spoke several days ago about Ecclesiastes and how it was written by King Solomon, the richest guy ever, the most influential. He had all of this wealth. He had all these experiences. If there's anything in the world you think that, he didn't do, he did it. But then he also had this pursuit of wisdom throughout his life as well. And I'm picking up in chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. And I read this week. And I'm continuing to go through this book that I did mention earlier in April. It's Free by Mark and Lisa Scandrette. So a lot of the stuff that I have been meditating on and thinking about, they go into it in much more depth in their book. So if you're at all interested in it, it's really relevant to our time right now, even though it wasn't written then. Just like this verse that I'm about to read to you, that was written thousands of years ago. But I just find it so amazing as to how relevant it is right now, today, in our situation in the world today. So this is from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. It's a little long, but I think you will appreciate it. So it says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, which is particularly relevant right now, a time to search, and a time to give up, a time to keep, and a time to throw away, a time to tear, and a time to mend, a time to be silent, and a time to speak, a time to love, and I'm not sure about this one, and a time to hate. Lastly, a time for war, and a time for peace. And I just think that is so relevant to our lives right now. I mean, even before the coronavirus and isolation and everything, but right now especially, I think that there is a time for everything, and right now our time is to refrain from embracing. Our time is perhaps to rest. Our time, perhaps it is a time to weep. Perhaps it is for you a time to laugh and enjoy your family and your children. I don't know what it is for you, but also then when I'm thinking about life, even before social distancing, social restrictions, isolation, I wonder, there's just a few passages, not Bible passages, just a few thoughts, and I wonder if you have ever thought these before, or if you identify at all with them. I know I certainly do. I feel hurried and tired. Don't know if any of you have felt that about your life in general. I don't have enough time. I should be getting more done than I am. I feel expectations and demands on my time from others. And I would also add to that, what I identify with is I also put demands on my time, on myself. I fear that I'm wasting my time. And I wonder whether I'm getting to what's really important. And we spoke a little bit about that yesterday. I wonder if you identify with any of those statements, because before all this, everything shut down and before we had to stay home, busyness was kind of like a currency. It was like a bit of a marker of success. You know, if you are everyone is so busy, but oh, if I can be busier than you, then I'm one up than you. I'm more successful than you. And it might not be a conscious thing, but I find that somehow the more busier you were meant the more important that you were in society. And suddenly we find ourselves forced to be a bit still, forced to be in the one place. Some of us might actually be finding stress and so forth in other areas of our lives, but we can't go out and be busy. We have to stay at home. And I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you today. And I wonder if you've learned anything through this process. And I wonder if once the restrictions are lifted, if we will all just go back to our super uber busy lives, or if we'll take stock and think about what's most important and about how we spend our time. Thanks for joining me today. Remember, you are good, you are loving, you are kind. Bye.